Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Mika Hutchins, and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. Our charity of the month is Food Empowerment Project, and you can help me help them help the animals by donating to our fundraiser here on Twitch, visiting their website, which I posted in the chat, or simply by watching my streams and bringing your friends, because I'll be making my own donation at the end of the month based on my unique viewers count. If you enjoy today's stream, please support my creative work by becoming a Twitch subscriber to remove ads and get cute emotes, joining my Patreon to get illustrated postcards and prints in the mail, or sending me some creative fuel through Buy Me a Coffee. Links to all these are in my Twitch About section or in the YouTube description if you're watching the recording. Today is Thursday, which means it's time for illustration, and we're getting back to work on my Onomatopoeia Bees piece. Someone said something yesterday. I think it was Bickman2K said Onomatopoeia. So we're getting back to work on the Onomatopoeia piece. And yesterday we were able to finish the color, the flat color for everything. These are not going to be the final colors. I was saying it all stream yesterday, it's just about getting pixels in to take up that space and be the right shape, and we'll fix the colors. We'll change the colors later. What I wanted to do next, I'm thinking if maybe it would be better to put the whole bees. I'm going to move the bees. No, wait, I can't because the flowers have to be in between. Never mind. I was thinking of putting the bees in their own folders, but... Well, I guess I could put bees... Hold on, I am going to do this. I'm going to make a new folder, and this is going to be lower bees. And these will go here. Boop. And then, oh, Sarah's here. Hello, Sarah! Yay, thank you so much. 20-month subscription. Thank you, thank you. You're actually here today. Yay, I'm so glad you can join me. I mean, I have been so glad that you were able to lurk all week, I think. I think you've been here all week lurking, or at least several times this week and last week. Yay, thank you so much. Sleepy puppy cams. Yep. My assistants are working hard here in Studio Mikarts. As usual, you can't really see Aoife's face at all, but you can see a leg instead of just a furry back. Alrighty, so now I will make another folder, and this one will be for the upper bees. That way I can, we're going to put this on the flowers, this effect. That way I can close this folder and it's a little less visual over information. A little less overwhelming, not so much visual information. Now I can see, okay, if I need to look at the upper bees, I can open this. The lower bees, I can open this. But now it's way less overwhelming to see that. Oh, wow! Why are all of our pets' birthdays so close? Aoife's birthday is tomorrow, and Chappie's birthday is next week. Happy birthday, Ranger and Misty. Happy birthday. Are you doing anything for their birthdays? I decided that this year I will make, for the second time, the puppy treats recipe from the vegan Harry Potter cookbook. So they loved those when I made it last time, and it's super easy. So I'm going to make a nice big batch of that, and it should last them between their two birthdays. When is Chappie? Chappie's is next week. So Aoife's tomorrow. Chappie is either the day before or after my dad's birthday. So it says sometime next week. Let me see if I can look at the calendar here. Maybe it's the week after next week, actually. Because I think this is my dad's birthday. My dad's birthday is one of these. I can never remember. Anyway, they're still very close. Still very close. Everybody, all of our pets are being born in May. That we have some sort of guess about. Because I have no idea when Kumo and Sora were born. Nobody knows. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. Okay, what I wanted to do now, today, it might take the whole stream longer. I have these round edges on all of the flowers. Overall, the flower impression is a round puff. But now that I am seeing it like this, we need more of these little tube-like flower bits sticking out. So I'm going to add those, but not with ink. That way it'll be more subtle, so it'll be soft. Soft and subtle like the flowers they're supposed to be. I am going to add it just with the color. So that's what I'm going to work on today. Save it to your calendar. I have. That's why I don't remember it, because I don't have to work hard. Actually, I could never remember it before either. So I was like, well, better put it in the calendar. And anyway, I got his birthday present and birthday card done at the beginning of the month. That's what I've been doing recently in like the past year or so, is instead of trying so hard, for years I was like, oh, I've got to make sure to put in a reminder a week before and 2 weeks before so that I don't forget so-and-so's birthday or anybody's birthday. And I'm just too busy. I can't do it. I couldn't keep up with it. And then I felt bad because I felt like I was neglecting our relationship and not celebrating the person. And what I decided to do was just forget about the timeliness of it. Well, not forget about it, but stop being so obsessed with the timeliness of it. Now I have a single day, somewhere around the end of each month, and I use that day for sending out birthday and holiday and whatever stuff, whatever I'm going to do for the next month. So like all the May birthdays and all the May holidays, they just get done all at once. So I already sent my dad's birthday stuff, and he was even like, already? When I told him that my present should be on the way to him, and I was like, yep, it's coming. So that's even more, that's very efficient and helps me a lot, but it's also another reason why I can't remember birthdays, because there's no pressure now, which is great. I don't miss it. I don't miss the pressure at all. Having the lines and the color is great, because then I can add more of these to be in the background, coming out from where there are already lines, and then the lines help bring some of them into the foreground, even though everything so far is flat. We haven't done any shading, but the lines, by their nature, make it seem a little more three-dimensional. So I wasn't actually planning on doing this from the beginning, but now I'm glad that I'm doing it, because it's already looking really nice, and all I've done is add 5, 6, 7 of these little tube flower things. So I'm afraid today will not be any exciting, explosive type of art making, but it's going to be really worthwhile to put in the time and effort to add to the flowers in this way. I think once I'm done going around and adding more of these long, I don't know if they're considered petals or what, but I guess I'll just call them petals for the ease of the term. Once I'm done adding these long petals, I'm going to refine this edge as well, where they're coming out from, because it can be a little bit more interesting of a shape too. I'm thinking about whether I should add more of these smaller shapes. Is basically what we have going on here. It shows better on this big one, is these little it's like little flowers that make up a bigger flower. And they have these little petals, and then they have this long thing that comes out of the middle of that smaller flower, and that's what these long tubes are. And so I'm thinking about whether I should show those smaller petals, but perhaps not, because what we have is a globe. It's a sphere. So these are really close into the middle, so I think maybe you wouldn't even see them because they're covered up by all these longer things because it's curving around the back. Yeah, for now I'll just add these longer things. It makes it a little simpler too to do it that way. But that also means that it would be good if I added some shorter, thinner ones to represent these long petals as they're moving around this sphere toward the back. That maybe they're not actually shorter, but what we can see becomes smaller and smaller because we're only seeing it from one angle. Here's a spot where it would be good to add one coming out on the middle of this. I guess it means that today is not really coloring work, it's more like actual drawing. Oops. Of course, technically, you could define them as one and the same. Just like some people define painting based on what media you're using, other people define painting based on the technique you're using. There's this old argument about whether oil pastels count as painting. For me, they count as a drawing. For me, painting involves physical media. Painting involves wet media. That's how I define it. I'm not saying that my definition is the one true definition or anything like that. That's just how it exists in my mind. And as far as digital media goes, it's either or. They're just different. They are completely equivalent because it's its own thing. So people could describe what I'm doing now as drawing, or it could be painting. I'm fine with either one. So some people think drawing involves line work, while painting is more blocky, using big swatches of color. So what I'm doing now, in some definitions, might be considered painting, because I'm not creating outlines, I'm just creating blocks. This is gonna look awesome. I feel like it already looks so much better, so much fuller, and how I was seeing these flowers when I was working on the original line drawing. Matches better with what lives in my imagination right now after all the reference photos I looked at and used. It looks like a sea urchin. Yeah, it's true. This one's just mostly spikes. I mean, they're not spikes. They're soft. These are tiny, tiny little petals. These are meant to be thistle flowers, and the thistles we have here, the whole plant gets very big, like taller than me. But the flowers themselves are more like, well, how can I describe it? Maybe the size of your standard size campfire marshmallow. That's the first thing that comes to mind that is the right size. Not those jumbo mallows, but not the mini mallows, just the standard ones. So all of these little teeny tiny flowers that make it up are even smaller. Oops, I had the wrong blending mode turned on. Do this again. Trying to also incorporate some crisscrossing overlap. So if everything is perfectly spaced from each other, that doesn't seem natural. So it will become a visual distraction even if the viewer isn't quite sure what's wrong. So trying to create some natural seeming variety, even though it's all sort of planned. Not planned, but thought about. There goes the PC fans. Like taking off in an airplane. One of those nice big jets though, not those little tiny ones for shorter rides. Those are terrible. I had to ride in one of those to and from Malone, New York for the Inktober retreat, and oh man, it was rough. I put my earplugs in, so I sleep with earplugs. I put those in for the ride back now that I knew how it would be. Made sure to keep them in my bag, because they don't let you bring hardly anything with you inside either because it's so small. And even that was hardly enough to block out this so loud, droning noise. How's it looking overall? Let's take a step back. A virtual step back. Oh my goodness, it looks so much better! Yay! Alright, I think that's enough. You can go crazy. Yeah, it's really loud. It is at least a sort of constant noise, so you can get used to it, but I think what I did was I put my earplugs in and I put my headphones on to cover my ears. Yeah, I don't know, maybe there's some, it was one of those teeny tiny ones that only seats like 8 passengers or something very, very tiny. Not those smaller jets that sort of, you might have I don't know. I don't know the seats very, very well, but you've got those smaller jets. Those ones aren't too bad. And then, of course, the bigger it is, the less the sound is, even though the engines are bigger, but I think it's because it's just the whole thing is bigger. Wonder if anyone has done research into exactly why is it louder the smaller the plane, even though the engine is bigger. But maybe it's farther, it's because it's farther, and maybe it just has stuff built into it because of how loud it is. They actually put the effort. That's a mystery for me right now. Okay, we're not done with this though. I'm happy with the amount of extra flower petals sticking out, but we still have this hard edge that's it's like a little awkward. So let's change it so that it is not. So I think I'll erase down to various lines, and then we'll add, so various ink lines I will erase down, and then I'll look at it again and add wherever it feels like we need to add back, but I will not add this solid circle. It will be more of these tube shapes. So some of these, when we erase down, like right here, erasing down right here, I don't think I need to add anything. Erasing is all we needed. But other spots where I have to erase really far in, that's probably too much, and we need a little something to fill in. I realized the perfect word the other day, so I've been working on updating my artist statement. I'm using a book called Art-Write, and I totally recommend it anybody watching who's also in a position where you would need an artist statement for your visual art. It's so good, and I'm only on the first set of questions, and I've already been having huge epiphanies, like, wow, this is so much better. This way of describing it is so much better than what I had. I think the hard part is going to be whittling it back down after I finish all of the prompts. But anyway, that helped me realize a great word to describe my work, both my writing and my illustration, is meticulous. That's how my work is. That's how I create it. Meticulous planning, meticulous execution. And that's why I can't be satisfied with rush job and satisfied with what everybody says, oh, you have to be able to make work faster. I'm not satisfied with that because I can't make meticulous work if I'm just trying to hurry and rush something out. And then it doesn't look like my work. It's not like I'm just messing around and that's the reason my work is slow. My work is slow because that's how it gets created. The time is an essential component. So when I'm not working on it, my brain is processing what we did today, thinking up any solutions to problems or new ideas, even if it's not a problem, but we could still make it better. So I'm so glad about this Art-Write book. I'm so excited to update my artist statement. I had to make it a rule that I'm not allowed to work on it during my Griffia, my novel writing time, because that's how excited I am by it. But that would be productive procrastination, which is a result of perfectionism, perfectionistic thinking, unhelpful perfectionism, and I am not going to engage in that anymore. So I've been good for the most part, using my writing time for writing, obviously using my illustration time for illustrating, because Twitch makes it so easy to stay on task, knowing that, oh, I have a Twitch stream, so I gotta stop now. I need something like that for my writing. But I definitely don't want to write on live stream because this is it's a completely different thing. I need quiet and time to just think. Yeah, see how it's when I erase down all the way to the next line, and not even all the way, it's erasing the core of the flower. But I'm going to go all the way around and do this, and then add back. And right here, this is a spot where we could just leave that. We don't need to add anything. So it's not all going to be sort of wasteful erasing and then just bringing it back. Some of it is that it's how it's going to be. Right here, it's super empty. So I'll probably have to define even more of these long tubular flowers when I do the shading, because we've got these big patches of nothing right there. Of course, I could always do something like just add a texture so that it's a little bit less labor intensive but still gives the impression of the flower. I don't need to worry about that yet. I'm mostly concerned with this outside part, the outer edge. Heck, I may even add more ink lines. It won't be physical ink this time, it'll be digital ink, but I may add more ink lines if necessary later, if that seems the best course of action. I think it'll probably be good as well to look at some reference images again. See what inspiration I can glean. I looked at them for the drawing part, but what about the coloring part? I'm erasing something I want to keep for sure. I'm going to keep this. There. Okay, I've made it all the way around. So now I've got to make some decisions. Let's just add a tubular flower here. Since this is coming across like this, we'll continue it and then just fill in. How do I want to deal with this part? Definitely need to bring it out some. So I'll do this. Maybe not. I won't like that actually. I tried, but I didn't like it. Let's try something else. Another one going like this. Just a thin one, but then that will give us a reason to fill this in. And we'll make this one thicker, and that way we can fill in next to that one. Oh, it's getting a bit warm in here. I'm going to see if opening my window will. It was so cold in the house, but then when I start streaming, we planted some mint plants, a couple different varieties, right in front of my studio window because I'm at the ground floor, so the bottom of my window is right at the ground. Well, maybe like 6 inches up, but last year they struggled a bit, but they were transplanted, so it wasn't unexpected. And this year they were growing up so magnificently. Mint is one of my favorite plants. Smells good, tastes good. Makes wonderful tea. I love just harvesting some mint and making tea out of it. I often dry it. And then I have a big pot of mint that lasts me years. And otherwise I just let the plants grow and look beautiful. So it's so nice to see them because last year they were barely even visible at the bottom of my window. Now it's like a foot above the bottom of my window, so they are doing great this year. Because I love cooking and stuff, and I love making tea. We have, what do we have? We have like, is it thyme? No, I don't think we have thyme, but we have rosemary. I use that a lot. I make this potatoes recipe. It's so good. You just cook it in the pan with some water covered, and so that makes them soft. But you also have some vegan butter or coconut oil or something like that in the pan too, and then that way you take the lid off after they've steamed for a while, and then the water evaporates, it continues cooking, and then it cooks in that oil that was in there, and you get a yummy, delicious fried outside part. And the whole time it's got some sort of herbs in there, and I usually use the rosemary from my garden. And so it's the whole time, whether it's the steaming part or the frying part. I think it's called braising technically, but it's cooking it in oil, so that feels like frying to me. But anyway, so good. It's so nice. We have a whole bunch of them. We have a ton of oregano. I don't even use the oregano. It grows like crazy too, so it's a really good one to use just because it grows like a weed. But it's so pretty. It grows in little bunches. Mint is another one that grows like a weed. I recommend it to anyone who doesn't really care for caring for plants, because I don't, but they want to be able to use the plant or have an easy plant that looks nice, and supposedly it has some repellent qualities as certain animals don't like it. And it's just so easy. Once you get it established, it literally just grows like a weed. It's hard to decide how to approach this because we definitely need to fill it in. Something like that. That seems pretty good. Yeah, these are all a little bit too far down, so let's try adding another one. It's so peaceful outside right now. This is just too much blank space. It's not the right size. And I don't like how this comes to a little perfect point right here. That's called a tangent. And I'm always trying to avoid those. Everybody knows it by now. But say it all the time. Tangents. No tangents. There. It's drilled into me. My illustration classes, I'll never forget. I'll always be looking out for those tangents. How can I fill in this really big spot right here? Something like this. We'll make it go all the way up like that. Dogs barking outside. Who knows what they're sensing? They're obviously sensing something that I'm not. To me, it seems nice and quiet and peaceful outside. I'll just fill this one back in. And this line looks like it should continue along there anyway. just fill that all the way in. It's hard to choose sometimes what seems like the best shape. Oh wow, you can hear that bird? Yeah, I was enjoying the bird song while I was making decisions here. Sometimes it's really hard to make the choice. I don't have the bandwidth to explain what I'm thinking. I run out of RAM and it's all going towards thinking about it. Especially when it's something like this where there's no right choice. It's just different choices. And they have different effects. Oops. It's looking pretty good, I think, though. Let's zoom out and see how it looks. In the grand scheme of things, also save, because I haven't saved in a bit. Yeah, the only thing I think, I'm happy with how the block of color looks. Let's turn the lines off and see what it looks like. Yeah, that looks good. But now, there's sort of there's a bald section around here. So let's go in and add some more lines. I'm just going to do it now, because it becomes so obvious that it could use a little bit more. So go to black, and I'm going to change my brush to my ink brush. Now this looks like about the right size, 10 pixels. I love my ink brush that I made. It is so close. It is so close to what I get from the lines when I digitize them. It's hard to add them. Those dogs sure are barking a lot. I can do this fun thing here where I erase because they're crisscrossing. Bark. Bark. I don't know why they need to bark. I don't know what's attracting their attention. Maybe they're just bored. Save. Okay, what else? Let me add some more something. A little small thing there and a little double thing there maybe. I don't like having two right next to each other right there. But that's the best thing that fits right there. Well, maybe I don't need anything there. Let's zoom out. Maybe I've done enough. Yeah, I've done enough. Okay, save it. Yay. Well, one flower is done. At least for now, until I start adding shading, and then that might change my mind about what it's looking like. So we'll move down. Whew! It took like 45 minutes. That one flower. Okay, first let's tidy this up a bit. Ooh, you know what? Actually, let's go back to the flower that we finished and turn this effects on, because I bet there's some pixels I'd like to clean up. Oh, not green, right. I need something that stands out. There we go. This pink is pretty good. The only time it doesn't work is when it's already pink. Cleanup time. Man, I really think it's going to be worth it to have done all this work. This flower looks so good now. Before it looked alright. Oops, I'm using black. No! But now it looks really good. There we go. Got the right color. I wonder if it would actually help too. Yeah, let's do this. There's some areas in farther in where it seems like maybe I'll end up erasing some of this, but lines back. Yeah, I think these ones that are really super thin, I can get rid of these. The dogs next door seem to be getting into a fight with each other. So that's why Chappie and Aoife popped up with great concern. Sorry about that, puppies. I know, it's kind of disturbing to hear that. It was Chappie's little worried whine. Alright, get the lines back on. Oh, they're still at it. Sorry if you're hearing that too. It's not a pleasant thing to listen to. Oh, Chappie's barking. I think my husband has gone out to try and knock on our fence to distract them. That made Chappie bark. And other neighborhood dogs are barking now. Well, anyway, I'm glad that you can't hear this. Honestly, it's a little bit anxiety inducing for me because I don't like anyone to have an unpleasant experience, and the dogs themselves are probably not having the greatest experience right now. And just in case anyone is wondering, we have reported this situation to animal control multiple times, so we're not just sitting on our hands and wishing it was different. But legally, there's only so much you can do, which sucks, honestly. I have to close my window. Okay. I think that's good. So we'll turn that stroke layer off because we don't need to keep it on. And move back down here. Okay, clean up those lines a little bit. I don't think there's anything to change about the color on this element. I mean, maybe I can make this a little rounder. Ooh, doesn't sound like things outside are going well. We got some drama going down here. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I heard shouting about the police. Alright, I gotta close the window. Our peaceful day is being interrupted. If anything, I don't want the the puppies in here, who you can see in the puppy cam, wow, you can actually see Aoife's face because she's in the smaller bed. I don't think they enjoy hearing all of that. Not at all. Probably, I imagine the dogs understand each other's language better than what we do, so they probably understand more of what just happened out there, or what is happening out there, than I do. Ah, I see that doesn't make sense though. Okay, I gotta switch this color and add a line because it doesn't make sense for this flower to be here with this tube coming out, but it be behind this other tube. This should be a size appropriate for this flower though. Alright, back to this one. This layer. Okay, and we've got this one coming through here, so that should be full. Filled in. Full. Sometimes my descriptions aren't very descriptive or accurate. But you can only ever get better by practicing, which is what I do every time I stream. Practicing, describing what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. I don't know if oh goodness. Chappy, it's okay. It's okay, Chappy. It's okay, Chappy. It's okay, Chappy. It's okay, Chappy. Yeah, it's probably just Sean coming back in your house. Yeah, you're okay. You're safe in here. You don't have to worry about it. Life at Studio Mikarts, unexpectedly exciting. I don't know if I got to finish my thought. One, I don't know if I said this already or if I only thought it and then was distracted by Chappy or what. The thought in question is, I don't know what it is about this flower, or maybe because I got practice on the previous flower, but I feel more like doing both erasing and adding at the same time this time. So that's what I'm doing. I'm working section by section instead of all the way around the flower first. I don't like how that looks. Try something else. Try something else. Just fill that part in. Something like that. That works. Next section. Oh, we've got a perfect opportunity right here because we've got a little mini flower. Oh wait, this is part. Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna add some more tubes. Yeah, I like that better. Do it that way there. We'll just fill in right here. That's good enough. Oh, well, thank you. I was so into this, I didn't even, and then completely distracted by the dog fight outside. I completely forgot it was almost break time. Thank you for the reminder. It's very appreciated because that means it's snack time for me. Okay, everybody. Sarah's gonna lurk. I'm gonna go break. And I encourage everyone else to take a break too. Get stretched and refreshed for the next 5 minutes. Put my be right back sign on and be back soon. everyone, I'm back. I hope you had a great break. I had my nice peanut butter chocolate chip Soylent bar snack. I also found out a little bit more about what was going on with the dog fight, and one of the other neighbors around here has called the police, it seems. So there's definitely someone coming. Hopefully those dogs can get some help. So we've been trying for a while to do what we can to improve the situation. But like I said, there's only legally so much you can do. Right, Aoife? Aoife's her head is poking out under my tablet because Chappie has Aoife's normal bed. So Aoife's over here asking me to get Chappie out, but it's because you took too long to come back to work. You have... Now she's scratching at my leg. You have to go. Hold on. I can't work like this. They're pushing her face. Here. Here. You go to bed here. Yeah, you go to bed in this bed. Come on. This is your bed because you were slow, so you get second choice. Well, she'll figure it out. Yeah, I guess it's just the way I'm able to position the camera for this big bed, because now you can't really see Chappie very well because the cable for that camera is not long enough to put it where they like to lay their head over by me. So that's why you see their backs all the time in that camera. Alright, getting back to work though. So some of these I'm just going to strategically connect like I did just there. So that's easier. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I was saying earlier, this is a very small part of the whole illustration. So maybe here we'll just do something like this. Chappie, please don't bark. No one's in the house except people who should be here. She's still a little bit riled up, obviously. She wasn't even part of it this time. The dogs in question are the same ones that attacked Aoife last summer when we were going out on a walk, so it makes sense that these two here in my studio would be a little bit uneasy. Even though they're perfectly safe in here. Y'all are perfectly safe. I'm going to keep you safe. As much as possible, keep you safe. That's my job. As your human mom, that's my job. Keep you safe. I shall do that to the best of my ability. Something about this part is not quite working for me. This step is very time consuming, but I think it will be worth it. The overall change in the robustness of the flowers without taking too much attention away from our main characters, which are the bees. We're just helping the flowers become a stronger supporting role. Maybe we'll just put that all the way in right there. That's good enough. So hard to decide. How to treat this area, but I think that'll work. I kind of wanna, let's see. Ah, stylus, wake up. Move this one out. More. Alright, it's been a little while since we looked at what the overall effect is. Ooh, it looks good. Maybe I want a little bit more at the bottom here. It's seeming uneven compared to everything we've got up top. Alright, how's that? I think what it is the way there's these 3 lines. Whoa, I did not mean to zoom in that much. Goodness. 300 is enough for me, thank you. There's these 3 lines right here. And they almost look like they're trying to avoid this bee. So in this case, I'm going to just move them and pull them out. I'll make sure I'm on the lines layer. We can even combine them a little bit, but I gotta be careful because once I combine them, that becomes one thing. Deselect. So there's that one. And if I change the flower color layer, I just moved one so far, but maybe that'll be enough. Oops. Zoom out again. It does help, so I think I'll just take all these lines, move them out. Basically, I'm focusing on the ones that are farther in and then using them to create a larger flower by moving them outward. Maybe this one can be attached. Could attach to this one. So they are quite evenly spaced. Might be better if we have a little bit of grouping. Okay. It is now permanently attached to that one. Okay, let's adjust the color layer. Now that we've got this new arrangement. Okay, now let's look. Crisscrossing seems a little bit too much. It's kind of muddy looking. So I'm going to fill in some more areas. What I might need to do is just have more sticking out instead of crisscrossing. Take a look at this one. That's a lot better. That's a lot better. Still want to refine it some more. Because now I think this is a little too much echoing of the same shape. But overall, it looks much better. I think that's good. Feels more filled in, but not in a way that is attracting too much attention to itself. So we'll move over to the flower next to it. Oh, well, even though there's a little bit of overlap, let's turn on the stroke effect for this flower and bud combo first. I'll turn the lines off so I can see any really obvious missing spots. Okay, lines back on. Looking for instances where this pink stroke layer is poking outside or inside of the black lines. Aoife finally decided to get in the other bed, I guess. Or maybe she just repositioned herself. Y'all would know better than me, because I wasn't looking over there. Alright, sweet. Those are done. Moving over. This one. Just realized that I was using my ink brush, but it would be way better for me if I used this other one of the default brushes for filling in. Nice. This flower is mostly, we'll call it heavily lined. So there's not as much to do to make this hard round edge more interesting. On blending mode. It's really hard to decide how to approach this part. Maybe if I zoom out, it'll give me some ideas. It does feel like that edge could just come out further. Maybe now for this one, it needs a little bit of what I did on the top flower, which is add more black lines. So now there's a lot of white space here. Don't need too much though, just a tiny little addition. Change to my custom brush. And this would actually be perfect. This here. Back to my regular, let's see, not opacity, size. Hard round, pressure sized. Oops. Blend mode needs to be normal. I wonder if adding that one line will have been enough. Let's look. Actually, I think it is. That's pretty good. The only thing that seems a little off now is how thick these petals are at the top. So let's thin these a little bit. It's also felt kind of weird to have this green patch here, so let's just fill this in. Time to look again. What's the overall effect? Yeah, let's call that good. Just this little cleanup at the end. Start with the lines turned off to capture all these little spots. Oh, this is a little bit of purple from the bee. Oh, 10-minute warning. I was going to say warning. 10 minutes until the end of the stream. Clean up good. It's only 10 minutes. I don't expect to finish another whole flower, but we may as well work on it. There's actually could work on these buds because they're not quite as round as I'd like them to be. So I think what I'm going to do is draw a more round outline. Ooh! Draw a more round outline. And then adjust the lines. So it doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical, but it's still a little bit wonky. Don't want it to be distracting, the lack of roundness. So now we'll go on to the lines. And I'll do like I did before and use the lasso tool to just move stuff. The lasso tool and the move tool. That one's alright. This one just needs to move. So now we'll go back to the color layer and adjust the color now based on these updated lines. Actually, I feel like I could move these side ones up a little bit more. We do need that little bit of white right there. I was like, maybe we could do without that. Nope, we need it. We need that. Wait, I do want the effects on. Forgot what I was doing. I thought I was done. Nope. Only one part was done. Alright, bud number one. Number one done. See if we can finish this one in a few minutes. Do that. Oh, because I didn't, whoopsie, I didn't change the tool I was using. Oops. On that side, we didn't really need to change anything, so that's nice. we're at time, but I'm so close to done with this step. I'm just going to finish. That way when I come back to this next week, I won't be in the middle of a step. It'll be a lot easier for me to pick up moving. I mean, I'm in the middle of a step in that I'm in the middle of adjusting all of these flowers, but at least I won't leave off with a flower half done. Actually, this is more like 90% done. Let's finish this bud. And then we can leave this project over the weekend. My brain can absorb what we worked on and give me cool new ideas for next week. Awesome. Save. Before we part ways for today, let's take a look at the overall change in the piece. It looks so much better. Looks so much better with those additions. This is the flagship flower now. This is the flower goals for all the other flowers. It looks really good. So it'll be really fun to add to this really huge one. Let me see. Did I save? Make sure I saved. Alright everyone, that's it for today's live stream. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today and for everything you do to support my work through Studio Mikarts. If you're new to my channel and you want to see more, please follow Studio Mikarts on Twitch to get notified next time I go live. You can also support my creative efforts by becoming a Twitch subscriber, which will get you ad-free viewing and cute emotes designed by moi. Joining my Patreon for lovely illustrated goodies, such as this when it's finished. This is going to be the next Patreon reward. You'll get those in your mailbox. It's real. It's not digital. It's printed. It's not junk mail. Or you can just send some creative fuel through Buy Me a Coffee, and all the links to these are in my Twitch About section or in the YouTube description if you're watching the recording. Tomorrow I will be back for Chibi Friday. I'm going to be starting Sarah's second gift chibi. So we're going to be starting a brand new project. I hope to see you then, but either way, let me wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for watching.